in Utah, when I was a boy, everybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
Well, time to come out of your dogma, Snuffies. I don't think there's many serfs listening to this show, many royals. But you peasants, you indentured slaves, and then underneath the indentured slaves, you know, artists, you salt of the earth, environmentalists. We're considered by the royals, the serfs, as the lowest form of humanity, which should be the highest form of humanity. Up is black is white, red is blue, blue is red, yellow is green, green is green. No, green's not ever green no more. No, what? Yeah. The environmentalist crowd. Oh, they're all fake phonies? Oh, boy. The only thing green about the Green Party in this country is their bank account. Hypocrites on Balco. I want to really get into this today. We have some, first, of course, the earthquake of Fukushima. It's a big boy, a big one. Actually, tsunami. I want to talk about this because I used to get hundreds, if not thousands of emails. I'm talking daily. I used to spend in the early days of Fukushima, this is no kidding, I would spend 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day. I had, somebody's trying to help me with them, and they couldn't do it. From Japan, using Google Translator, using friends of mine translating, broken English, whatever. But you think about this. Just this fact alone, the State Secrets Act, everybody got gung-ho about it. It actually happened in September of, when all this happened, September of 2012. That's when they locked it up. The person that I used to do the radio show inside Tokyo, the professor's been missing the whole time. His family, they don't know if he's dead or in prison. That's the way they play because they're shoguns. Peasants things in the United States colonized it, and they just kept going with their colonial system. The Queen's royals, the new royals here in the United States. You think you're the royals. The only people that have any fucking job whatsoever here all work for the fucking government. They gutted any fucking business here. Any industry has been completely wiped out. Total, gone. Also, the construction industry, the restaurant industry, they just freaking opened the borders and said, come on. And let them be illegal still. Is it illegal? We never had a fence. Why the problem all of a sudden? Why'd that problem start in the mid-90s? Oh, NAFTA. I thought Bill Clinton was a Democrat. I thought he fought the champion for Bill Clinton, a Democrat. Bill Clinton's the greatest Republican in history. He's the greatest Republican president to the Republican Party in history. Oh, no, he got passed by Barry Antoinette. Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, they're more freaking GOP than the Bush cartel ever dreamed of being, both of them. The Democratic Party, you go clear back to the Progressives, which Teddy was a Republican, remember? No party got switched and the ideology got switched, they championed labor. The square deal turned into the new deal that turned into the raw deal. By the way, that's mine. Science fiction economics, that's mine. I've understood this. Where did Teddy get the idea for the square deal? Oh, the Masons. What? He was a Mason? Oh boy, on Balco. So was Mark Twain in those days, and they hated each other's guts? Yeah, that's because people get it. People think that these secret societies are just some global freaking movement that just goes on just in one united mass. Oh no, they're still people. They're still individuals. They still have to make choices. You know, the great quote is I quote over and over and over that Morgan said about Teddy, we bought the son of a bitch and he wouldn't stay bought. They bought Marie Antoinette and he stayed bought. He loves being bought. He's the biggest house, you know what, Uncle Tom Obama, you know, the African American community, you know what they call him. They know it, you know what they call him, and that term fits him to a T. He's the house. Oh boy, is he, you know, my beautiful friend, Dave Lewis, God rest his soul, who was killed at the Vets Hospital, 6'5", incredible freaking athlete, afro out to here, knew all the original. He said he knew Tommy Smith personally, grew up with him. He was the real freaking spirit of the African American. I love that guy. He said it about Bill Clinton. He's the house. And I said, oh boy. He signed NAFTA. What happened to NAFTA in Mexico? It opened the floodgate. Now, what's going on in Japan right now? Let me think about this. In this day and age, there's no fly zones over the entire country. You can't talk about it from inside, tweet it, talk about it, and no one's ever got away with it. Amy got away with it because she was friends when she was over there. She did some great reports. Democracy Now! You know, Caroline gave her a little bit of cover. And so, you know, they've told Caroline to stand down. Oh, I can hear those conversations. You want to be just like the rest of the family? Huh? You the last one? Oh, we'll do it. They don't care. They're sociopaths. They're heartless. You know, everybody says, well, you know, they threaten Barry. Bullshit. They ain't threatened him. He's one of the team. He's skull and crossbones as they get. The Harvard connection and the Yale connection are the exact same thing. It's skull and crossbones. They're sociopaths. They believe in controlling the world. They're not like the Masons. The Masons actually believed in moderation and justice. They're control freaks, but these people aren't control freaks. You know, Maximilien Pierre holding his freaking Nobel Prize in his hand when he's deciding who to execute. Remember Maximilien Pierre, freaking French Revolution? Remember, he started out as a human rights activist against capital punishment. He was putting names down on paper of 30 to 40 a day at the end of his life to be guillotined. Okay, that one. Just anybody and anybody. Anybody he didn't like. Wow. So the earthquake happens in Fukushima, Japan. Yeah, is the reactors damaged? How the fuck would we know? Nobody on Earth can possibly know. They've done it. Mission accomplished. I'd never thought, no way, this will not be Chernobyl. There's too much YouTube. There's too much. But what happened to YouTube? Every swinging dick lunatic in the world come out and jumped on Fukushima about a fucking year after it happened. In the early days, I was reporting inaccurately. Jan, this Milky, the report was kind of accurate. You know, Christina was doing, her and Jules were doing their radio show. There was some solid information being passed out through social media. Well, about a year later, well, it was even over a year later, it's the winter really of 2012, 2013. One lunatic far-right vlogger got in his head. The left will never take this on because they're fake in denial, freaking, oh, hi, let's hold hands and try to levitate because they're the biggest frauds that ever walked the fucking face of the earth. Dress up the kids at these, oh, yay, oh, don't do that no more. You guys stop, look at my house. They're fucking freaks. Gone. Teddy Roosevelt, Bobby Kennedy, who I shook his hand right before he was killed right here in Ogden, Utah, he would LBJ said, LBJ was a big dude, do not kid yourself. He said I was physically afraid of him. He would fight you. They were progressives. Oh, fuck. They weren't these softball liberal fucking pieces of dog shit and this far radical insane, right? So the nutcases got on this. And the only reason they got on it, because that Hattrick Henry cat, who was just, Jan was mixing all his videos. You do know that. Miss Miracle the Clown was there, and Shane Russell was feeding him all the information. He was the biggest fraud there ever was. He was in it, and he tried to steal Plumegate from me. I was using Plumegate. By the way, I own the domain. And so He was a far-right freaking ex-cocaine, heroin addict like they are, like Glenn Beck, like George Bush. Then they turn into Bible thumpers, and they misinterpret the Bible. They misinterpret Jesus. Jesus was a liberal. I got news for you. Jesus was a radical. Let's see. Feed the poor, heal the crippled, throw the money changers out of the temple in a radical way. Oh, yeah, that's a... don't sound like no freaking conservative to me. So, this guy got on it. Lunatic, though, who I fought with lots of times, who killed himself. What was that idiot's name? Michael Rupert. Oh, my God, what a lunatic. This is how arrogant and what a fool he was. Remember right after his show? That's what arrogant people do. The most arrogant thing in the world is commit suicide. It's the most selfish act on the face of the earth. Bar none, especially an adult male. Especially if you have children or grandchildren or anybody. Just think about the people who have to find you and clean you up. I have no sympathy for anyone that commits suicide. None. After what I went through, I watched these young girls fight their ass off in these bone mouths, I got no sympathy for them. Now it's different. You're terminally ill and you're dying. That's different. That, what she did up there, that's euthanasia. That's a big difference between euthanasia. I know plenty of people that have taken their life after the doctor says there's no hope, whatever, and I don't blame them. That's euthanasia. That's not suicide. So there was plenty of people doing the solid work. So what happened? Every swing a dick lunatic. YouTube got easier to use, started freaking blogging Fukushima with insanity. Then you got all the false equivalency know-it-alls. By the way, they all jumped on it late for the most part. And by the way, all these Facebookers, whatever, I got an email from Facebook, and no shit, a year ago. Remember, in the first days, I refused to even use Facebook. I have to use it because that's where my beautiful army, and I don't kid yourself, I have the greatest freaking army of investigative journalists ever assembled in the history of humanity. For real, I have them. They send me. They know where I'll find it. Post it to Facebook. Call me on the phone. Why do you think I give out my phone number? You wouldn't believe the information is fed to me from inside. I have the transcript from inside the Situation Room. Can I read it online? No. That's against the law. I'll go to prison. I have a lot of this stuff. I have all kinds of stuff. Now, can I verify you? I have data from Cal Berkeley in the very early days, which I have. I have the transcript from Sanjay Gupta's MD 2 weeks after that they re-put online, all leaked from inside. That was leaked to me by CNN themselves. These leakers asked me, please do not. And, what are those journalists? I do not disclose my sources. I mean, good journalists go to prison not disclosing their sources. You remember the water freaking scandal of freaking the Clintons? He went to prison because he wouldn't disclose. Lots of guys have. Oh, Bob Novak, he disclosed his source. Oh, yeah, you damn right he did. And Scooter Libby, pardon me, he went freaking down. I wonder how Bob Novak likes hell. He outed Valerie Plame Wilson, and who told him to do it? Dick Cheney. He told you. Dick Cheney's attorney told you. You don't care. Who ordered the execution of Pat Tillman? Dick Cheney, right from the White House. Right? General McChrystal. General Betrayus. Can you imagine that girl that was having sex with him? It just shows you what certain females will sleep with anybody for wealth and power. Anybody. You look at that ugly little creepy rat. They ordered the execution of the most famous man in America. He was going to blow the lid off of everything. You don't care. You don't fucking care. The publishers, they don't give a fuck. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little... If they need ghost sheep, they love it. So what happened? The far radical, insane right. By the way, they're insane. So I refused interviews. You know I refused interviews forever. I mean, I made CBS sign a freaking documentation with me, KSL. That's why they don't interview me anymore. I make them sign. I carry it with me. I have a disclosure contract that says, you will sign this, and I have to review the final product before you put it up, because they crop and chop us, make us look like fools. I make them sign it. In San Diego, RT themselves. They know. And so, well, Kev, don't you skate? Fuck you, I don't skate. I tell them just like that. You want to interview me, put me in the studio and do it fucking right. Spend some of your fucking Russian fucking thieved money. Fucking thieves. By the way, the alternative media, there's nothing alternative about it. I am the alternative to the alternative. Christine Radchick's the alternative, Cody. This radio show, UCY TV, that's the alternative to the alternative. The grassroots, yeah, we don't have huge followerships, but that's a feather on our cap. Can you imagine if you were popular, like the Young Turks? Don't you love those false equivalency pricks? All of them, Current TV, all of them, Al Jazeera, there were RT. RT interviews me all the time as long as I don't talk about nuclear. I mean, I'm all over them. As soon as I mention nuclear, chop, bye. So I make them sign disclosures. So finally I took a lot of shit from a lot of people, which I always do. Every swinging dick asshole in the world's tried to attach to me. and, give me advice. Don't you love these arrogants? I've been living this my entire life since I was born. Got 2 PhDs in it, knew Stegner. Then he watched my father be freaking nuked to death. Been out in the theater. You name it, I've been there. I'm not just these guys are going to tell me. It's like I survive a cancer that no one on earth can survive. I mean, it's impossible what I survive. I survive it, and they're still telling me, here's how you survive cancer. Armchair quarterbacks, they're all know-it-all fuckers. Isn't that our generation? Oh, I watched 3 hours of fucking YouTube videos. I'm an expert now. It's like Christine O'Donnell when she's running for fucking... I'm a constitutional scholar because I attended a Koch brothers sponsored fucking constitutional scholar seminar for 2 days. It's fucking... the people in academia, they're teaching my old class. Get this. I used to teach U.S. economic history. I went down and I said, what are you teaching about EEL? That's the building we're in. One of the most influential masons in the history of mankind. The most influential... Don't know a thing about it. Get this. This is the guy teaching my class. His name's Monty Ogden. He's a moron. High school teacher. A guy named Alston. Little dumb rat. Little moron rat. Thought he knew it all. He was a dumb little dwarf midget freaking idiot. Clyde Cooley would have ate his lunch for... We were the #1 school business in the country. Not because of him. He put it in there. I had a conversation with him the other day. This is my old class. This is what I taught there with Clyde Cooley, not with that rat fucking Alston. And Kyle Madsen, who's dead now. They both died. That's the end of it. The end of the innocence. So, he tells me, now get this. He says, well, the difference between Barack Obama, and this is the fake far right, or left lunatics. He's a fat fucking lazy slob is what he is. Dirty, stinking, lazy fucking slob. Well, I mean, he fucking ain't fucking more than fucking 2 miles in his life. His son fucking in prison for embezzling money. Well, they're just pieces of fat, lazy fucking. Isn't that what we are in America? Everybody works for the government. They're just fucking pathetic. So, he says to me, the only difference between Barack Obama and Franklin Roosevelt is Franklin Roosevelt had a Congress that worked with him, and Barack does not. I said, are you fucking that stupid? Did you skip the 4th grade? Look it up. How many vetoes did FDR sign? Is that right? 600 and something? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that sounds like a Congress that works. These people are fucking insane. They just rewrite, make up history to fit their fucking dogma. And I can prove all this. So these guys, video. And I said, okay, that's it. I'll do any fucking radio show. Any of them. I turned down fucking hundreds, if not thousands of them. Because I make them sign disclosure. I took so much shit from the YouTube lunatic crowd. Not the solid crowd. There's a solid, don't get you wrong, our YouTube army, we have a really solid one. But we have every fringe element fucking know-it-all lunatic who knows jack attached. So, I said, I'll do any of it. My phone's lighting up off the fucking hook. I did 90 interviews in 60 days. Some of them long ones. I mean, it overwhelmed me. That's when I realized and they were all fucking right, because they all jumped on the cover-up. Because it was red meat against fucking Obama. Because that's all they know. They don't care about the fucking reality. They just hate Obama. Because the Koch brothers told them that. They don't know why they hate him. They don't know what. All right, he's a socialist. What? What? That's the guy's the farthest from a socialist there ever freaking was. Now, the Republican Dwight Eisenhower, that was a socialist. Wow. I mean, these people were insane. So you wouldn't believe the stuff I heard. I mean, finally after frickin', I said no more. I can't do it. These people, they're fucking ignorant as that's when I really went on. I knew America was ignorant. That's when I really learned that not only were they ignorant, they were drunk on ignorance and arrogance and proud of it. They're proud of their ignorance. They'll wear shirts that America's stupid. I seen a guy, this redneck thing, he says, piss off a liberal, buy a gun. So I walked up to him, he says, and on the back it says, Americans freaking illiterate, something about how dumb Americans were. And I says, okay, how does that piss off a liberal? What do you do with the gun when you buy it? I'll go to the range or whatever. Okay. So you can buy a gun, you can buy bullets, you can spend gods of money. That's all they did, was fucking con you to buy more of that fucking gun lobby to fucking, like Lori says down in San Diego. Wars are nothing but trade shows for arm dealers. That's all they are. And so I'm like, okay, now tell me about what you can do with this gun. You pull it out, the cops are coming with a SWAT team, and they're going to kill you. You can't use it. You can't pull it out. You can't brandish it. You can't show it. You can't do nothing. And you're going to stop the freaking United States government from coming and getting them. Really? Tell that to Saddam. He had hundreds of thousands of SAMs. Do you know what a SAM is? Oh, you're freaking AK-47. The guy that invented the AK-47 called it the greatest weapon of mass destruction in history. He just passed away, $8. In Utah, they presented one as the state gun. John Browning rolling over in his grave, I can tell you that right now. Wow. You know, I got guns. Shotguns, rifles, beautiful masterpieces. My beautiful 30-30 on the Western Plain that my grandfather fucking gave me. You know, I tell people, you know, your gun shit. I said, I learned to shoot when I was 3, 4 fucking years old. I grew up on a fucking ranch out in the middle of fucking nowhere. But it's not even learning to shoot. We learned to respect life. They were responsible fucking, and they didn't have handguns. None of them had fucking handguns. They all had a shotgun and a rifle in their back fucking window. Not these fucking lunatics, AK-47s, the Blanch. So what are you going to do? So then I start going, so America's, oh yeah, they're dumber. And so I says, can I just ask you? Yeah. What's the 3 branches of government? Oh, that don't matter. What? Wait a minute. You're talking about freaking, because he started rattling off this Democrat Republic. You're talking left, right. So let's talk about this. How many votes does it take to amend the United States Constitution? I asked him straight up, how many times has the United States Constitution been amended? He didn't know what an amendment was. This is America. Drunk on ignorance and proud of it. Oh, they're fucking proud to be fucking stupid, fucking fat, overweight. I mean, they're slobs. They're pigs. Fucking walk around and look. It's disgusting. My girlfriend, the last really serious girl that I was involved with, English professor, born in Los Angeles, her mother, Danish as it gets. Her mom, freaking right in Denmark. She grew up halfway in Copenhagen and halfway in L.A. Sophisticated as they get. Beautiful as they get. Same bloodlines as me. You know, I was really in love with her. You know, Rachel Johansson, what a girl. What amazing. I loved her. Spoke 5 fucking languages fluently. Brilliant, beautiful, everything. Her mom, who has really never spent hardly any of her life in Los Angeles. Her and her father split, and she would go back and forth. Her father met her in Europe. The mom had never really spent, she'd been in L.A. before. She'd been in, New York City. That's the cultural theme parks that Europeans come here, and they don't get a good thumb for it. So she came to Utah. And so I kind of toured her around a little bit. And, I took her to the cool places, the beautiful places, to see landscape. She was very excited. She absolutely loved it, because I took her to all the great places. To the jetty, up the freaking, all these great, incredible northern Utah freaking, the environment. Well, Rachel decides to take her. I said, take her to a Walmart. She took her to the Walmart here in Riverdale. Really violated her, scared her. So then she started taking her away. Then they went on a tour across America. She was with a group from Denmark, and they were taking a bus across. I get a call. She's about 10 days into the trip. They're across the Midwest, they're across the South, whatever. She's shaking. I mean, physically rattled. You could hear it in her voice. I mean, she was really shaken. She flew home early. She said she had to see the family doctor every day for 2 fucking weeks. Physically traumatized her to see. She told me straight up, it was to see the females. She couldn't believe it. These slobs with tattoos all over them. She says it scared her. It really scared her. I mean, honestly, and this was a brilliant woman. And then, of course, Rachel says, come back, come with me to Denmark. I'm like, no, I got, my family and love it. Then I should have. I wish I would have now. Who knows? So I didn't go. She moved back there. And she couldn't handle it here anymore. She listened. She knew about the military, too, of 2000. So the Constitution's completely gone. People are, the YouTube bloggers and the bloggers, they're talking about fascist state. Now, for instance, I can prove all this, and history will sort it out. YouTube is nothing more than a library, and I've understood that the whole time. Nothing more than a library. It's a visual library. Now, my art form that I use in my communication style, I think that it's art. It's a new art form. And I got into a conversation with somebody the other day. Well, what is it? Visual. You mix it. What is it? And I said, it's post-ignorance. That's it. It's post-ignorance. Optimism is dead. That's it. That's the word. It's post-ignorance. And so, as you sort through it, so you think about it. Everybody turns themselves into an economist. The YouTube law, everybody. And they all regurgitate each other's shit. And I can prove it. I did all those videos in 2010 and 2011 when everybody was gold psycho, everybody swinging dick. And I can prove it because I have the data. Gold, silver, swinging dicks were completely insane on this. I'm going the other side. People won't click likes. They won't watch the videos. They just hate me because I'm not contemporary. I don't fit their freaking, oh, the world's coming to an end and gold will save me. I'm going to go to freaking northern Canada, buy a fucking bunker, and I'm going to hunker fucking down, and on my gold bars, and I'm going to lick them. I'm going to lick my fucking gold bars and fucking get chop wood, and I'm going to live in the wilderness while everybody else dies. And then I'll come out, be alive. I'll be the fucking king of the world. Fucking insane. Totally insane. Human beings, by the way, they have to have social interaction. Have to. It's part of our DNA. Without it, you will die. For real. It's been proven over and over and over. Go hunker down. Turn into the fucking hermit. Yeah, maybe you'll turn into that fucking lunatic fucking the Unabomber. Remember that fucking wacko? Sending stuff around. I mean, these fucking people. Insanity, these fucking people. So I'm doing these videos, fucking get out of silver at 47 right to the day. Get her in. So these people are fucking going crazy. So you got Gerald Celente, who I used to have respect for. Max Kaiser, I used to have I still have respect for Stacey. She's a genius. What a beautiful finance mind that girl's got. Max, he ruined himself. Gerald Celente ruined himself. Greg Hunter, every single one of them for 4 fucking years. All you've heard them, pound, 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 pound. Look it up. Max Kaiser, episode 496. Look it up. They are guaranteeing that silver and gold go up. Guaranteeing it. I said, I can guarantee it'll go down when they guarantee it up. And it's impossible for them to be as wrong as they've been. But now get this. Now you think about the last 2 years, 3 years. All we heard is the dollar's crashing. Because just like Fukushima, they're behind the curve several years. The dollar crashed between 2003 and 2000. You can draw a line on the dollar from the day we invaded fucking Iraq. The greatest fucking whack in wealth in human history, American history, happened between 2003 and 2006-7. The dollar against euro from 75 cents to $1.60 destroyed wealth in this country. This country was gutted. That's when the debt went insane and psycho. War, 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 war. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. The military coup of 2000. We invade Iraq, we never did anything to us. By the way, and I can prove it, and people, even my daughter, she freaking argues with me, that freaking little smart ass. But she knows on this one. For 10 years, 15 years, going on 14 years, I've been ranting and raving that I played blackjack with the 9/11 terrorists. I even tried to tell authorities this. I was in Wendover, and, out there freaking playing blackjack. In 2001. These guys stuck out. This is the middle. That's our family ranch. Goes all the way out there, the Free Rangers. By the way, the cows are back in the freaking drinking the water out of the industry. So I got a little video I'll throw up today. But so I'm out there. These guys stick out. And they're not your typical freaking Arab. They're the strong. I mean, we all know what they think. The Arabs think that they have no Neanderthal bloodline in them. The Ottoman Empire there, the gifted race goes all the way back to Egypt, and these are strong, physical, big Arabs. They weren't your goofballs. You could tell they were strong-minded. And I'm playing, they're pricks, and they're in a gang. There's never, forget about it. In that place where you will never see anybody of that descent there, ever, 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 especially in those days. You might find an adopted Indian who grew up here, a few, because the Mormons freaking like to adopt. Never. Stuck out. I'm like, what are you guys up to? I said, you guys work right there, Energy Solutions? And by the way, they knew about Energy Solutions. And by the way, there's no security out there. And there's supposed to be security. By the way, the whole fucking complex is just like fucking Y12 making rice freaking. You're just being extorted. You're being thieved. There are no fucking terrorists. Oh, yeah. We know who the terrorist is. John McCain, Dick Cheney, freaking Barack Obama, fucking Hillary Clinton. Those are all fucking Fox News, CNN. Those are fucking terrorists. So, I get in an argument with these fuckers. I just blow it off. Fuck these idiots. I'm out there a couple weeks later, playing blackjack again. Same guys. This time, they're fucking pricks to me, and I'm pricks to them. I'm like, fuck you. Let's fight. You gotta know me. I'll fight anybody. I don't give a fuck. Always would. And so, I'm toe-to-toe with those fuckers in the casino. I said, let's go outside. I'll fucking knock the fuck out of every one of you punks. I'm going at it right in their face. Then after 9/11 happens, my light goes on. Oh my God, that was them. And I saw the fucking PBS documentary early. And by the way, that documentary was out very early that talked about the whole fucking dynamic. They went from San Diego and they took back roads. And they took more roads and they stayed off the beaten path and they paid cash all the way so they wouldn't be detected. They stayed right under NSA in Laurel, Maryland the night before. And then I found out there's their path. They fucking came up the old highway through fucking Nevada, stayed right in winter. It was them. Nobody will fucking listen to me. Nobody will fucking believe me because I have a gift. And I've always had a gift. Now, it's caused me a lot of problems in life, and and I don't know where this gift comes from, but I've always had this gift. I've had it since I was a little boy. I can read situations as they happen. That's why I was such a brilliant trader I made so much money when I was freaking young, too much money when I was young, because I had a gift. I could really hypothesize. Now, I wasn't always right, but for the most part, I was. I could see scenarios, and I knew how to make money off them, because I started trading cattle futures at 14 years old. So, and I did it over and over and over. And that was part of the reason I quit Wall Street, because I was the number one trader on our entire firm. The number one. No one's even close to me. Yet, I wasn't making the most money, not even close. I realized what a fucking scam it was. It was all bloodlines. It was a club. And I couldn't take it. And then I really started getting nervous. To be honest with you, I really got nervous about having all that money. And I started thinking about my path as a spiritual person inside my soul. This money, I was like, it was going to ruin me. Now, I was young, of course, had lots of money, had beautiful females around me, lived in the biggest house in Weber County, built it with cash, spectacular and beautiful, had an amazing fucking life. I look back and, oh my God, what a life I had in this great, beautiful, incredible town that I still love, Ogden, Utah. I love this town. Now the police state, the repressors, all the great, incredible cultural geniuses, they all took their money and left, went to California. They're in San Francisco, they're in San Diego. But it's the geography the reason I love here. It has the mountains, it has the lake. I had the lake. Lake's gone. This is going to be a dust bowl this year. And I can tell you right now, across the western United States, you are going to see fire epidemic. We're already in this. You think about this. This is February in Utah, northern Utah. This is the coldest time of year. Usually, 2, 3, 4 feet of snow in the valleys. We're getting fires in February. I'm not kidding. We've had 5 already. And there's another one burning right here in South Ogden today. So that's 6. It's going to be on in the western United States. There's no water in this area. You're going to see the greatest drought in the western United States, and people are going to go psycho about it this year soon. It'll be the number one story in this country. That leads me back to Fukushima. I can prove how everybody in the country does know about Fukushima, and they'll lie to you and tell you they don't. And is the epic greatest. And now, what do you think I went all at Fukushima breaking news? I could have went tons of places, economically, socially, philosophically, but I stayed there because I knew it was the greatest story maybe in human history. It trumps everything, just like post-ignorance. It's over the top of everything. My place in time. I want people to understand, I have been so acutely focused on this because I've been afraid of dying. I love my life. When I tell you 2 months, and I understand the disease in my body, and I understand, it's like I was a distance runner when I was young. Walkwest Junior High, ran the half fucking mile. Fucking me and Ed Einstein used to go at it toe to toe. He had an afro bigger, and he's a stake president of the marathon coach. He would smoke weed under the blade. That's who I used to have to go up against. I beat him before. We used to go at it, and I knew when you're running a race, you have to finish. What do you do when you get towards the end of the race? It's like when I'm on my plastering crew. Guys would be tired and wore down. We're trying to knock out a job. What do you do when you get towards the end? You're running a race. Half mile, whatever. You kick. That's what I've been doing. I know I'm getting towards the end, and I'm kicking hard. I've been afraid to freaking wear different freaking clothes. I've been afraid to change that clothes. I got a lot like Steve Jobs. Let me tell you something. I want people to very much understand this. They don't understand this about me. My YouTube site, everything. My doctors will say it over and over and over and over and over. Kevin, do not waver from this routine you're on. You've tapped into something that is keeping you. Do not waver. Whatever you do, you keep doing it intensely. You cannot take 1 day off, 1 hour off, 1 second off. You cannot. The cancer will freaking come back. The free radicals will kill you. Do not waver. I know that the survival rate of this is almost nothing. I know that they beat it back with the chemo, and I'm going on 3 years of the chemo, and that's where they drew the line. February 26, 2015. My doctors have it written on the board. That's the last bit of chemo that went into my body. And that's where they want 3 years away from the chemo. And then they can start they'll move their path to the different, which their treatment's been nothing. They've just watched me. That's all. Watch me. Watch me be kicked off freaking Medicaid when AML patients go to the top, because in Utah, Mike Lee, the teabagger thief, kicked everybody. All male who do not have that are not working, are kicked off Medicaid. All of them. He kicked so many disabled people off Medicaid. He's an evil, 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 sick sociopath who disrespects the death of his own father who died of leukemia very young. There's an interview with me, and he lied to me, and I've always been cordial to him. I've always taken the higher road with him because I've always had hope from him because he bucked both parties, but he's a teabagger radical, and, he's a fraud. My point is, religiously, like the Mormons, I've never gone after their theology. And, it's like people say, I says, why don't you ever kick me out? Oh, we're never kicking you out. I know why, because my bloodlines are connected. I have connected bloodlines, and they know. And I'm like, well, fucking kick me out. I don't attack anyone's theology. I never have, and I never will, because that's arrogant. Oh, you're right, and I'm wrong. You're wrong, and I'm right. As far as salvation. Now, I'll attack people's theology on their fucking dogma on everything else, but not what happens after you die. Because that's the most arrogant thing in the world, isn't it? Isn't religion generational arrogance by definition? That's another one of my terms. Scientific and economics, black and yellow journalism, Barry Antoinette, Let them eat your cake, Hillary Westinghouse Clinton. I got hundreds of them. Steve Chinese Jobs, they're all mine. Because I'm original. I'm the real thing. People fucking hate me, pull back on me because they want to crowd on, they want to spin this fucking story of Fukushima into their dog. It's unspinnable. This is the unspinnable story. So what's going on here in Utah right now? This has been hiding underneath the freak thing, and I've been fighting. It's called the WIN. I want everybody to look it up, WIN. Western Initiative for Nuclear. It's the most corrupt thing in the world. It's being run out of Oregon, Washington, Idaho, California, Utah. Mostly Oregon, Washington, Utah, Idaho. What they're doing, there's two companies, and it's corrupt. It's pork on Balco. And now, they've got Barry Antoinette, pro-Joe Nuclear, who he's the opposite of John Kennedy. He is exactly the opposite of John Kennedy. If you want to think about Barry Antoinette, Barack Obama, you think about John Kennedy and think exactly the opposite. That's him. To a T. He's very much like Bill. Of course, no, he's even way worse than Bill Clinton. At least Bill Clinton did some good things. Downsized the military. Remember the leaner, smaller military? Of course, then we got Hillary. Oh, God, I can't. Wow. Of course, I guess we could have on the Bush again. Fuck, might as well. At least Bush is tell you, yeah, we fucking took over the country. We fucking thing. We're fucking Nazis. They'll tell you right in your face. At least they don't lie about their sociopath, psycho fucking ways. Yeah, we fucking create wars that fucking nobody ever did. We go slaughter the Garden of Eden and fucking proud of it. Fuck you. That's what they'll tell you. So, when? The Western Initiative, so all it is, it's a secret program to put small reactors all over the western United States, and which we don't need, we'll never need. It is nothing but a way for these companies to make billions of dollars. Billions. Oh, that's not going to happen because I'm going to blow them out of the fucking water, just like I did Blue Castle. Because here's the fact of the matter. In order to get a nuclear reactor license, it never doesn't say in the act, in the Congressional Act, it has no language on the size. None. You have to go through that incredible process, through Congress. Without Congress, it doesn't happen. Open congressional hearings. You have to do this loop, this loop, this loop, this loop. They're trying to backdoor that entire process, just like they tried on Blue Castle. Oh, I blew Blue Castle out of the fuck. Oh, those fuckers hate me. I'm not scared of them. I've been toe-to-toe with them. They freaking got in my face. I said, well, I'm sick. I said, I'll knock the fuck out of it anyway. You come at me. Come at me. Because I don't play nice. I'm like you. You want to fight? Oh, I'll fight you fuckers. I'll rip your fucking heads off. You come at me, throw the first punch at me, fucker. I tell them just like that. When I'm freaking dying of leukemia, I'm looking right over Stegner's program. I'm going to be in Stegner's classroom today at the University of Utah. So I'm standing right there. This is right when Blue Castle was doing their advertising campaign all over freaking Utah television at the exact same time. No coincidences. So you Google Blue Castle, you got me with a central line hanging out of my jugular. Everybody can relate to leukemia in Utah. They're like, what? These fuckers are trying to build a fucking nuclear reactor on the green? My line. Build a nuclear reactor on the green, dirty heaven. Why not put a statue of Ted Bundy on I-15? I mean, think about that. Everybody here knows the story of that creep, by the way. Still no word on that body out there. I have hope that it's, one of his victims. At least we can know the family members, well, at least, in that closure, that's a horrible word. I understand that. At least they'll know. But these evil, sick fuckers are so arrogant in this state. and say in California. Okay, so the IAEA, the International Atomic Want to Kill You, puts out an article today. They've been in Fukushima, you know, oh, they're making significant progress. Look up how many times it's been tweeted and viewed. Many already. It just came out. Just shows you. Americans know about it, but they're just trying to fucking fit their dogma and make you feel good. Oh, it's not going to get me, because they're so fucking arrogant. They don't think they're going to get cancer. And they all think, and I see it in the hospital, oh, yeah, I've got leukemia, but God's going to fucking save me. You're going to die, but God's going to, and so they don't even fight. They're just like, they're so arrogant. Oh, yeah, God loves me. He's going to save me, because it's not my actions. It's what forget what I fucking do. It's what I say. And then they die. They just die. Over, bye. And by the time, let me tell you about when you die. You don't die nice. You know, their struggle. I wonder what their dogma goes through while they're dying. I got a guy in there. There's lots of the disproportionate Atomic City up there in Idaho, which I worked in Atomic City in Idaho for a little while when I was young. I got the fuck out of there. Treat me out. So my mother's family are the giant ranchers from Idaho. They're the big ones. You go out there to Lava, Idaho, up Fish Creek, that big farmhouse that everybody has the family reunions. That's my grandparents' house. Oh, I know that area. Worked there for a little while. That's where they're running this headquarters. There's a guy inside. Get this. This guy's wife's in. A lot of the people that are dying from that area are in our hospital. Well, then when I'm leukemia unit, you know, anywhere, especially in this region, big time. She's dying. He says, you know, Kevin, they're trying to bring Wynn back to, you know, these great jobs up here. They're going to put good jobs. He's the lead. He's the number one ranking Idaho senator, Republican senator, number one ranking. He said, well, you know, he and I had to, while his wife's dying of leukemia in our unit. By the way, she died. Just days after she died, he votes for her. I kept track. I haven't seen him since. Wait till I see him. He's just like Mike Lee. Oh, my dad was a downwinder. He died young. What, you don't think you are? Arrogant fuck. Barry Antoinette, his mother died so young as a downwinder. By the way, Barack Obama's mother was an amazing woman. Really an amazing. They come from amazing. That's what's sad about this thing. These amazing. She was incredible, brilliant, genius. Experimental, of course, like everybody was in those freaking days, in the freaking 50s and 60s. A brilliant IQ, experimenting. Of course, she was experimenting with life and culture and freaking theologies. That's what brilliant people do. You know how young she was when she died. And, you know, Barack Obama, in his book, who knows who wrote his book, says, you know, she's fighting with the insurance company. Right. He'll use her legacy to try to push Obamacare, which was a sellout to the insurance. But he surely, now think about this. She was a downwinder to southern Utah. She lived in Kansas. Mike Lee, his father, downwinder, lived in central Utah. I'm here to tell you, inside that hospital, I already knew this. The disproportion from people in southern Utah in our hospital would blow your mind. I run this by every doctor. I'm like, you know, you tell me, you know how many people live from Provo south in Utah? Maybe 400,000, 500,000, 600,000. There's 3 million people here. So do the math. So that's 5 to 1. So there should be 5 to 1 in northern Utah, and they're fighting for their life with leukemia, right? It's the other way. It's 5 to 1 the other way. I'm not kidding you. Yeah, so go to Moab. You know, let's go down to southern Utah, and these triathletes move to Moab to train. It's the most contaminated place on the face of the earth, except for maybe the Ukraine now. The Ukraine's even getting worse. There's a nuclear war going on in the Ukraine. There's 50,000 already dead at least. 2 tactical nukes have been used already. You know, but hell, we don't see it here. Just like Japan, we don't see it here. These fuckers in America know. They're looking at these things. Any fucking thing from Fukushima that makes them feel good, they'll watch that. Oh, they'll eat it up. Look it up, Miles O'Brien, his feel-good story. Look how many views it has. You know, look at everything. They'll look and watch this as long, because they know. They're just so fucking arrogant. It's denial. They won't even talk about their own mortality because they're so arrogant. They think they're going to live forever. So I'm in the hospital. I was head of a support group. I see it over and over. There's a guy that worked in a nuclear reactor in Illinois. He's dying of leukemia, my age. I'm, talking to him. I says, well, you know the only known cause. And the doctors will tell you. Anybody will tell you. The data's all there. And when these people say, oh, data at Berkeley and why the data's not there, they're fucking liars. The data's everywhere. Look it up. Government data on the atomic veterans, Chernobyl, all of it. It exists. The government puts it out right in your face. You just want under the cloud, Richard Miller. I mean, I knew him personally, too. The data's there. People are just in denial. They don't think they're going to die, and they're going to die. And there's so many of these people that are 50, 60, 65, 70, men and women in the United States. They're sitting freaking behind their keyboard trying to that are going to drop dead in the next little while that don't even know they're going to drop dead. They don't even know. Perfectly, they think they're healthy. They think they're above it. They're not. I mean, it's already mowing them down like it. So you get sick one day. Boom, over. Bye. See ya. Kills you so fast, make your head fucking spin off. So I'm in there, and this guy's telling me, oh, no. I said, you know, you have a 16 times higher probability of dying of leukemia than the rest of the population if you work in a nuclear reactor. That's a fact. That's fucking well-documented factual studies by me and others, my PhD. Oh, no, God's going to save me. And then I always say, Tim Shell, thou mayest. You know, they pick and choose out of the Bible whatever they want to pull out, and then they spin it. God help those who help themselves. They don't fight because they're lazy, and they're all caught up in their dogma. And then they die. Oh, he fucking dead or fuck. He didn't even give it a chance. He didn't even try. I mean, I watch these guys. Here I am, shriveled up. I got the worst case, one of the worst cases in there. I'm walking through Memory Grove with my tree, sneaking out. I'm fighting my ass off, traveling all over the country, fighting, walking incredible distances, so focused. I've been afraid to change my clothes. I've been afraid to freaking not sleep in a different bed. I've been afraid to do all this stuff. I got 2 or 3 incredible, really magnificent, the sexiest females you ever see. Won't sleep with them. You know, they're coming, walking. I'm afraid because I'm afraid to vary off my routine. You know, plenty of people can verify this in Southern California. You know, when I'm in California, do not kid yourself. There's still some sexy, incredible, beautiful girls. I've had girls come right to my hotel and, Kevin, I love you, you know, blah, blah. Try to call right in my bed with me. I'm like, no. And before I got cancer, oh, it had been on. I'm like, They're like, why? And I said, I can't waver from my routine. And not the sexual experience, whatever. And, of course, I've had sex since I got freaking leukemia, but in a very limited way because I'm afraid of this, and I'm going to run my race to the end, to the finish line. I'm not going to let fucking Ed Einstein pass me at the fucking wire like he used to when I was young once in a while. I'm not going to let him catch me at the wire. I'm like a racehorse out there on the lead. I'm not going to be a jockey and quit riding. I'm going to stay to the whip. I'm going to ride through the fucking finish line. I'm not fucking arrogant enough to think, oh, I'll beat cancer, I survived cancer, because I hear it all the time. Tony Gwynn did it. He made and I love Tony Gwynn, and I knew him. There was a guy named Lee Lanzarada here. You know, this was a baseball town. You know, Glenn Hubbard played fucking professional. You know, I know that family very, very personally. I was a baseball player. That's what I did. Our family. You know, I come from Crown Valley. I know these. Well, he was the lead scout for the Padres. He and I, opening day of baseball, used to spend that day together every year. I love that guy, by the way. He was an amazing dude. One of my best friends ever. Him and Tony Gwynn were very close. So I got to meet Tony lots of times. You think I talk? You sit down with Tony, he would go on and on so beautifully. He loved to talk. He loved people. He's one of my favorite people in the history. Me and him were born the exact same day. You know, Bonago was born that day, you know, right there. Or almost exactly the same day. I think we were a day apart. Same year, same day, everything. I love that guy. He declared himself better. You know that. And Fukushima flared back up on and killed him. Was it Fukushima? I don't know, but I've seen it over and over and over and over and over. And you don't think he had the best doctors in the world? Oh, he did. Of course, he was at Scripps. We know those. They're like Huntsman. Come stay at Scripps. It's like a woman told me, she says, how is Scripps a bunch of scientists who are going to save you? She doesn't know about the Scripps Hospital, obviously. Scripps is the biggest leukemia unit in all of fucking California. You go to La Jolla and you drive, and all of it is Scripps. You just drive. It's the fucking cancer hospital because, hey, come to Southern California, retire in San Diego, the beautiful sun, and die of leukemia in our beautiful hotel. And they don't save anyone. They're like Huntsman. They don't save anybody. They don't even make the top 100. Like our hospital says, you want to go eat the fucking good food, stay in the hotels, go to those joints. They'll extract all your money as you die. You want to live? Come here. And by the way, it's not comfortable in our place. I mean, it was under construction. Their little room, you know, those nurses, you don't lay in bed. I mean, you're still shriveled up, even if they got to drag you out of the fucking bed. They make you move. You know, on which you think that's brutal? Beyond brutal, but I fought. They're like, oh my God, look at you. No, I'm not going down fighting. There's plenty of people that fight in there, and they're always girls, by the way. And Carla fought. Of course, you know, a lot of them fight, and they still passed. But, you know, they had enablers for spouses. I didn't have an enabler. I think the timing helped me a lot. I was pinned up against the wall when it happened. You know, all my money. I had, you know, right on YouTube, I turned $3,000 into $700,000, which would have been incredible sums of money. The videos to prove it. But I had to fork it over. It was not meant to be. I was not meant to have a lot of money. My place was carved in stone before I was born. I was given leukemia. Well, curse of spite that I was ever born to sit this right. But I understand my path, and I accept my path. It's hard for me because I was young, you know, all my beautiful life. I had what young men like. I had lots of money, self-made. I had people loved me. I had incredible females. You know, I had all that. I had all that beauty. I had everything. I was free. I was, you know, but it was not meant to be for me. That wasn't my path, and it's hard for me to accept it. I mean, I struggled with it for a while, but I have, you know, people at the hospital talk to me. You know, one of my PAs, Kelly, she had a long talk with me one day. She said, Kevin, I want you to think about this. They know my path, every detail. What? They know everything about me, everything. The doctors and the PAs, so documented because they're trying to build a new treatment. Because I did this without a bone marrow transplant and I survived, and they want to know why this guy survived. Why? I call it the light. It shines inside of me. You will never take that from me. I tell them just like that. I survived through the light inside of me. You know, my wolf spirit. Oh, they believe in me. She says to me, Kevin, she had tears in her eyes. I know it's been hard for you, but let's think if you were still on Wall Street, you wouldn't walk, and you had all that money that you had when you was young, and everything that was going along with age. She says, I really think you would have died, Kevin, and I think you were going to get leukemia. I think it was unquestionable that you were going to get leukemia. No matter where you were at some point in your life, it was going to happen because of the disposition through your father, your genetic code, you know, your mutation between you. You're going to get it. And when you got it, I mean, think about the miracle after miracle, Dr. Hansen stepping in, you know, friend of the families, knew me. Any other doctor would have blew me off. I was uninsured. But he knew that I had money, and I threw it down. I said, hey, and he says, I don't care how much money. I care less. I know you. I've known you since you were a boy. Your uncle was my ex-business partner who invented bypass surgery at the Ogden Clinic, which why that guy freaking hated me. My own uncle, which was really my dad's uncle. Oh, fuck, he was so disgusted with because I was a freaking wild heathen in this town. Freaking, you know, had money, girls, I mean, everything that he disagreed with, you know. And by the way, his beautiful wife, Christine, was my English teacher. I come from an incredible literature family. You know, Danish immigrants, whatever. His wife was my English teacher. She died of leukemia, very young. She used to go off on me. They're going to name the English department at BYU after my aunt, May Blanch, which, oh, wow, what an amazing woman. She died at 99. You know, and her children and my beautiful, beautiful cousins, you know, her granddaughters, everybody knows them. Everybody knows them. That's all I dealt with my whole life. Oh, I'm so in love with you, cousin. I'm so in love, you know, yeah, whatever. Amazing women. Literature. My YouTube site is literature. It's literature. It's a book. It's the ultimate book. But these stories are too... Literature's been captured. You can't write a book and send your book to one of the publishers. They won't even look at it and read it. It's like Sundance Film Festival and these so-called documentary films. It's pay to play. You know, I got to admit to that phony Redford. You know, in the early days of my rights, he used to point my camera up to freaking Sundance and put this in your fucking film bill. He's one of the greatest frauds in human history. So you read his statements all the time. He moved to Utah, you know, in the late 70s, 80s. Says, oh, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to blah, blah. I'm an environmentalist. He's one of the greatest frauds in human history. And by the way, even when he was young, these women that think he's good looking, oh my God, this is the creepiest. One of the boy of camera. He's got these giant craters in his face, and he's a very, very ugly. By the way, the guy who teaches Stegner's program looks just like really an ugly dude. Got this mouthy, ugly, thinks she's green, freaking white. I hate that fucking guy. He's wrote 8 books on fucking, you know, and he's the guy to come up with, and you say, well, you know, clean coal's an oxymoron. You know, he has been paid to fucking give cover for the nuclear industry. Just like Michael Savage was paid to freaking call it New World Order. Just like all these guys on YouTube are paid to use it. They say they're anti-nuclear. None of them are anti-nuclear, by the way. And I can prove they're anti-nuclear. You know, Libby's anti-nuclear. You know, where were they at the USS Reagan hearing? It's been going on for 2 years. Where were they at the Megan Rice trial? Where were any of them at the Megan Rice trial? Where were any of them? Because they're not anti-nuclear. It was the soup du jour of the day. It happened in their freaking board in their fucking basement fucking spinning. Now, I'll give credit to Jan, Miss Mookie the Clown, because she was all over it and it's great work. Now, I hope those videos stand. She needs to get them backed up. It's important she gets them backed up because Marie Antoinette signed the gig, and they're going to start on copyright infringement. Because those are copyright infringement. Most videos that are out there are copyright infringement. You can't fucking use other people's content. It's against the fucking law. And you don't think they're going to find any reason to take you down? All they're going to do. So you got to get stuff backed up. And there'll be another platform emerge. You know, Rad Chick Christina and Jules Stan, who hosts this radio show. Look at the incredible work they did in the early days on that radio show. Look at the great, I look back on it, they informed a lot of people. A lot of people took cover because of their work. But, you know, and there's a lot, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great bloggers and great, incredible keyboard ads, and they're important. But when you come out and attack a fellow keyboard activist, I use what we call an agitation process that I learned from Stegner and Edward Abbey. I appreciate Helen Caldicott's work. I love her, but when she makes a statement, it says, Japanese are tidy little people. Now, I cannot stand Chris Busby. I cannot stand the Intergender Shield. I cannot stand any of those frauds. They're not anti-nuclear. Kevin Camps is the worst ever. Oh, hi, you guys. Hi, I'm Kevin Camps. It's just so horrible. It's terrible, guys. You know, why he's making $200,000 a year on every social aid party in freaking D.C. He's in the club. John Hurley's words, not mine. You know, so, no, I'm the real fucking thing. Yeah, because I was taught by the real thing. The guy that was nuked to death in the test site. My dad. The guy who stood on the beach, that freaking Latin bottle bulge. We were expected to be human rights activists when we were raised by our grandparents on both sides. The Hunsaker Mill. The greatest human rights activist in Western United States history was my grandfather, the Hunsaker Mill. Fed millions. The greatest socialist in freaking Western history. The guy that found the gold at Sutter's Mill, who walked from Old Town, stood in there. By the way, the Mormons have took his thing back. I'm going to put his freaking legacy back where it belongs. The great socialist that he was. The Mormons, the great socialists that they were. Now they fucking call up and says, we're teabaggers. They don't help their own. They say, we're the charity. No, they're not. No, they're not. I'm like, why don't you guys kick me out? I go, I wasn't ever kicking you out. We need you. I don't question their theology. I question the hypocrites that are running it now. Hairspray, freaking neat hair. When they also used to, it was mandatory to have beards and long hair. That was the gig in the Mormon. Now it's clean shit. Now I'm not talking about, you know, their polygamy ways and these pedophiles who got fucking involved, like the Bundy cattle ranchers down there who rape children and fucking mooch off the government and fucking steal land, do not pay their BML lease. You know, they owe the government millions of dollars, and yet fuck Sean Hannity and you teabaggers will run down and support the fucking biggest welfare mooches in the United States of the Bundy clan. So the FLDS, it's been proven. All those FLDS Mormons down there, they put all their children, they put all their girls on freaking food stamps, they exploit fucking thing. Remember Green went to prison for it? That's those clan. And yet we're free marketers when they mooching. I mean, I grew up on these ranches. You know what them fucking BML, them leases, and you think, fuck the anti-BLM. Let's turn all the Western United States, okay, anti-Teddy, into private interest. They would tap Old Faithful. Do not kid yourself. They would extort. It would be over. There would be nothing. Houses built up. They already did that. Houses burned in Farmington Bay Marsh. You know, houses built into the fucking sanctuary that's private sanctuary in San Diego. Dog walkers in the fucking federally protected marshlands chasing the blue herons underneath the fucking Golden Gate Bridge. And I have fucking videos to prove it all. Because there is no wrong or right. There's only popular opinion. Mark Twain. Oh, yeah, that Mason. Oh, the Masons are bad. Skull and Crossblood's bad. These control things, I'll tell you what's bad. People are bad. Human beings are bad. These come down to choices. It's still representative government, and the power of the people is powerful. But we know where the power of the people are. They've been hijacked. They've been chemtrails, GMO'd on their food. They've been fucking hypnotized by the box. Whatever. Crutch. And I don't mean Charles Crutch. Oh, yeah, I was there, too. Knoxville, Tennessee. It's all crutch. It didn't work on me, and it didn't work on a lot of people. But it sure worked on fucking the masses. It is representative government. Mike Lee's just spreading the fucking same dogma the Mormon Church spreads. Everything is decided inside rooms in that temple. There's still choices made among men. I knew Hinckley very personally, the president, very personally. Loved him. He tried to put it back to fucking a healthy society. So many people tried. They don't try now. And you guys all go along. You're going to be on the winning team. The Pacific genocide is going on right under your face. The Western United States being turned into the Dust Bowl right on your nose, and you don't care. The emperor has no fucking clothes. Stand tuned. We'll talk more about this Thursday.
nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical.